for all are considered royal offspring. I mean, every believer is specifically called a son of the King. It is a royal title. The sons of God who will rule over a new earth with him. Male and female, no exceptions. The idea goes all the way back to the Old Testament. It's not just a Christian thing. It's very present in Jewish theology. Hosea 2:1, the number of the people of Israel shall be like that of the sands of the sea, which cannot be measured or counted. Instead of being told, you are not my people, again, remember they were exiled, they shall be called children of the living God. Daniel 7:27, the kingship and dominion. It's the same chapter, by the way, the divine council chapter we just looked like with Ezekiel. Kingship and dominion and grandeur belonging to all the kingdoms under heaven will be given to the people of the holy ones of the Most High. Will be given to the people of the holy ones of the Most High. Their, plural, kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey them. John, New Testament now, but to all who received him, who believed in his name, speaking of Jesus here, he gave power to become children of God. Galatians 3:29, if you belong to Christ, then you're Abraham's offspring and heirs according to the promise. The promises given to the Jews above in Daniel. 1 John 3:1 we've already looked at. The fourth logical implication to the ET creator view, again we looked at 1, 2, and 3. The dignity, no higher purpose, and racial inequality. And fourth, then the ET gods are your creator masters, not your brothers. Now this is a little repetitious with the first one, but it's a different angle. They're not your brethren. If ETs created us, they have the right. They have the right of ownership over our bodies, souls, and children. We are theirs by right, if this is true. What that means is that whether you like it or not, royal kingship is a monarchy. It is not a democracy. You have no right to complain or gripe about what happened to you in your experience. You got to take the whole package. In other words, the elite command, the rest of us submit or suffer. Don't complain then that you have been abducted and abused. You have no right to demand justice, for the alien has legal claim over you. Period. The theistic creator worldview, again in contrast. As noted already, in a biblical worldview, we are all destined to be kings under God's sovereignty. The image, the sonship, the rulership is democratized. It is not kept for a select few or for a certain bloodline. It's not even kept for beings in heaven. As Paul said, don't you know, 1 Corinthians 6, that you'll rule over angels? Think of the council. God of Israel, sons of God, angels. Paul says, don't you know you're going to rule over angels? You're the middle slot. You are the royal household of God. You will command them, not the other way around. This is the biblical worldview. Jesus, as incarnate God and Redeemer, is our brother, not our owner. Now, I realize that Christ is Lord in Christian theology, but that's not where it ends. He is also our brother, as Hebrews 2 says very, very plainly. What are human beings that you are mindful of them, or mortals that you care for them? You have made them for a little while lower than the angels. You have crowned them with glory and honor, subjecting all things under their feet. Now, in subjecting all things to them, God left nothing outside their control. As it is, we do not yet see everything in subjection to them, but we do see Jesus, who for a little while was made lower than the angels. He was made human. Now crowned with glory and honor because of the suffering of death, so that by the grace of God he might taste death for everyone. It was fitting that God, for whom and through whom all things exist, in bringing many children to glory, should make the pioneer of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For the one who sanctifies and those who are sanctified all have one Father. For this reason, Jesus is not ashamed to call them brothers and sisters, saying, I will proclaim your name to my brothers and sisters. In the midst of the council, I will praise you. It's not all about ownership. Concluding focus, 2 summative questions. I'd like to ask you, does E.T. love you, and how do you know? Pretty simple. Well, they tell me so. They tell me I'm specially chosen. They want humanity to survive in the future and to evolve toward a greater self-enlightenment. Really? If the stories about the gods in ancient texts are true, why are those stories so different than those messages? Can these beings be trusted? What kind of love do they feel for you? Is it a sacrificial love? The kind of love you would have for a puppy or a car or your favorite thing at home? At what level is the emotional attachment that you think they have for you? To use an illustration, as your creator, do your E.T. gods love you as a child? Do they really? If E.T. loves you, then why create you as a slave? Why create you and leave? Why create you or hide? The fact is, at best, we're an experiment, not a loved child. The God of the Bible has an emotional investment in us, and I want to ask, where is E.T.'s emotional investment? The truth is, there is no emotional investment from E.T. It's a scientific curiosity at best, and a pretty detached one at that. At best, E.T. is an absentee parent. At worst, he is a cold, detached researcher. Is this the way you love your children? Is this how you want your children to remember their childhood? Probably not. There really is something better. And I would suggest to you, and that's the end of the session here, I would suggest to you that the theistic worldview is favorable, is more favorable, is better. And it's in your interest to consider it. And that's part of what the conference, as we, as in my cases, I've contributed to it, but as Guy has constructed it, to try to bring, create a bridge between what we look at seriously as paranormal stuff and perhaps spiritual stuff, whatever the intersection is. One of the goals is to get you to consider that if you opt out of a Christian view of this stuff and you embrace the other side, what it really means. Have you thought through it to the end conclusion? Or have you not? Perhaps not. That's all I have. If we want to cut